common problem when people draw in value with students is they make it way too light, because they think that they're seeing a really light value up there. And really what you're seeing is a contrast. The shadow area is just darker than a darker part of the shadow area. It's just contrast with that reflecting light. So look at the area around the reflecting light to understand the value of the reflecting light. You doing all right? Just let me know if you need to stop. The side of the head kind of comes in this kind of motion, so my marks are going to go in that kind of motion, rather than just kind of going like that. And there was just a show of Rembrandt drawings and his student drawings, and they were very energetic drawings, really good drawings. They were loose but accurate, and a lot of those expressive marks were, I mean, even though they were, very fluid, they were still done with an understanding of how form works. Don't be one of the, basically, I guess what I'm saying is don't be one of the people that misunderstands expression and technical issues as being separate. They're actually they're linked. You can't do really one successfully without the other. Core shadow here can come down a little bit in value, and that's starting to look a little bit lighter now because of it. I think I'll do a little more to the eye, and then I'm going to start pulling in some of the light pencil. Darker. Just a little bit softer. Actually, do you want to take a break and then I'll come back and do the white? Alright, so you can use a white pastel pencil, like the Cretacolor pastel pencil, or a white charcoal pencil. Either one will work. And what I'm going to do is go to the area where I see the lightest lights, but I'm not going to put down a super white value. I'm just going to use that as a guide to kind of take me over to see how much of the white pencil I'm going to use and how much I'm not going to use, and then I'm going to let the tone of the paper completely show through. So if I look, I can see a lot of light coming right through here, like over the cheekbone, the brow ridge, the nose. And also one quick thing, the eye, that you always draw like that. Don't do the wide of the eye like this all the time. Okay. Sometimes the white of the eye is not pure white, depending on the way the light falls. So, and you might make the model look like they're possessed or something. So it's just riding along right with the change of the front plane of the forehead towards the side plane, or transition plane, I should say, right there. My marks are going with the form. Comes down, you can see a little bit of a lighter light. Now I really avoid trying to put highlights everywhere because I don't want the drawing to end up looking like, you know, it's metal or there's a bunch of oil or something on the model. I want to just use the highlights as a guide. So highlights, you know, putting a million highlights is not always necessary. That's something that is not another misconception people have about tone paper. So when you put it's there so you can put all the highlights in. The range of halftones is really what's going to help build the form. Right along the cheekbone. And I might go back to these areas that I'm putting with white pencil and make them wider later. Right now I'm just laying down a foundation of, I know it's going to be a wider part of the drawing. If I realize I put too much white down or put it in the wrong spot, I just pull it back up. Right there, the form's kind of going front plane, and then back up to the side plane of the nose, which is directed towards the light. So, and the edge of the nostril there, the value from here to here is really close, so I'm not going to put a hard line with the white pencil, or with the black pencil rather. I'm going to let the variation of white pencil and gray paper showing through kind of develop that side of the nose. There. This is turning down, just going to make my marks go. And here is in the white of the eye, given this setup, a little bit lighter than the tone of the paper, but it's not as light as what's going on there. So I might use some white in there, but I'm not going to take it to that level. Just enough to bring up that value a little bit. I want to say if you're in doubt of when to use a white pencil in a certain area, leave it out. And to try to develop more of the range of with the pencil, and then go back later and make another assessment of whether an area needed white pencil or not. I've ruined many drawings by over-abusing the white pencil. And I spent like hours and hours getting proportions right on, and then it just like in one fell swoop killed it. So a little bitty change of form there that I was talking about earlier.